Soyuz Wall. Ian is eager to see the energy barrier in action. We will cross the burn by Yol and Falcon as before. Hopefully I don't have to go through the dungeon again. Join me at the Overlook near the House of the Fierce. Which is no slight on the dungeon, I really enjoyed the burn. It was a good dungeon. Just don't want to have to go through it every time I do a quest that way. There's no actual link either. There'll be a loading screen in between. Ooh. Oh yeah, this. I keep forgetting that this bit's inside. Tigers! Tiger, tiger, burning bright. Alizé! Let's just pray there are no sandstorms brewing out there. Indeed. Give the word when you're ready to take wing. We are ready. Yeah, this guy's definitely on the same quest chain as we are. So we have restored the flow of ether to the burn. Why are they wearing green? Don't the Garland guys wear blue?
It seems the engineers have matters well in hand.
Oh good, I don't need to voice act this bit. Voice act.
Should the barrier work as we intend, Doma will be free to reinforce her allies in Ala Mhigo without fear of weakening her own borders. Honored friends, the time has come to put your hard work to the test. Start the generator.
Ah. He's wearing blue. Boop. And... is it gonna work? Ah. Ah. Whoa. Jeez.
Node 1 is operational. Nodes 2 to 8 are reporting similar energy levels. The barrier is forming.
Will it hold?
1,000 yards. 2,000. 3,000. Expansion remains smooth. No fluctuations detected.
So far. Is this actually going to work?
4,000. 5,000. Target altitude reached. The barrier is holding steady at 5,000 yards. We've done it.
I am kind of surprised that that actually worked. I thought it was going to fail miserably and some catastrophe would happen. Yahoo! Good work. Wait.
Is that an Imperial airship? Of all the rotten timing.
But this is a gift, Mistress Alizé. They can test our new wall for us.
True. Clang! Meow.
Seems solid enough, though I was hoping for a fireball.
Is this going to be somebody we know? Oh! Is that a shadow hunter? Oh snap! Oh, he's...
By the gods, it's Alpha now. What are you? Let me go! He has my brother!
Lower the barrier!
No. Well, of course we're running. What is that giant snake thing? Oh, I think we ran down that.
Be at ease, girl. The lad is not dead, merely locked in slumber.
He looks a lot like Nero. I wonder if they're related.
No, not him too.
Everybody's comatose.
We could identify no cause and found no remedy. Thus I sought to return him to Doma, and into the arms of Lord Hian himself, it would seem.
Yeah, unless they've changed the voice actor, this is definitely not Nero.
It is a day for fated reunions. Would you not agree, adventurer? Or should I address you as the Warrior of Light?
Know each other. Wait, what?
I, Gaius van Baelsar, the Black Wolf. That was the title I was given. One I have long since relinquished.
Didn't we kill you?
Stand down. The legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion died in Castrum Meridianum.
Yeah, we blew the whole place up.
Gaius Baelsar, a man without rank or allegiance.
Yeah, because he was betrayed, wasn't he? But was he betrayed or something happened with the Scions there and Ultima?
Impossible. There's no way you could have survived.
Do you remember how it unfolded? How I was deceived by La Habrea?
Yeah.
How I was convinced that reviving the Ultima weapon would allow me to bring peace to Eorzea?
Yes, remember that.
The Ascian used me, as he used so many others, all to further the restoration of his wretched god.
Zodiac, yeah. La
Yet
Habrea is
even with
dead,
the might
though.
of Alec at my command, you bested me. And as the Praetorium went up in flames, I was content to burn along with it. For a moment, at least. A moment of folly. To surrender my life thus would have been to betray all who died for my cause. It was for them that I dragged myself free of the rubble, and swore vengeance on the Ascians.
It was a particularly big and fiery crater and explosion, so it is understandable. We did not see the body.
The Black Wolf has shed his pelt, never to return to Garlemald or her legions. I live now only to exact revenge.
Well.
My principal quarry was to be La Habrea, whom I gather you have since ushered unto oblivion.
We certainly have. He did. Like, proper, not coming back deed.
But so many more remain. Long as their kind
How are you
lurked in the
killing them?
shadows, laboring to sow chaos throughout our world, I would see each and every one dragged into the light and put to the sword.
Mind you, the revelation from 4.4 that the Imperials are descended from Solus, who was an Ascian, maybe they have an ability to kill them?
Are the Scions not of like mind?
Maybe the
In this
third
single
eye?
respect, perhaps.
Maybe that helps.
Then I shall continue the partnership the boy began, and share what intelligence I have acquired.
Yeah, if you
Among the Ascians, the Black-masked ilk are subordinate to those who wear red. This you already know.
Yes. The Black Masks are the lowliest of the Ascian tiers.
Yet among the red there exists a hierarchy. Those set adrift with the shards clearly stand below those still joined to the source.
Yeah, so the ones from the other worlds that have since fallen are lower down the ranks compared to the ones attached to our world. Source.
Nabriales, who once dared to intrude upon the Rising Stones, belonged to the former group, and
Yes.
while he was indeed a dangerous foe,
Yes.
his powers were inconsequential next to the paragons of the source.
And a bit of a git.
The first was Ffxiv, who plagues us no more. There is also the white-robed Elidibus, and the elusive Emmet Selk, about whom little is known.
Yeah, we know of Elidibus, he's the emissary. And he is quite possibly the one who is currently walking around in Xenos' body. Because he did refer to him as an emissary. Emmet Selk, not a clue. That may even be the first time we've had his name mentioned.
We have files on Ffxiv and Elidibus, but
So
I
he is new
believe
to
this
us.
Emmet Selk is new to us? As I assume my brother told you, we have evidence to suggest that an Ascian now walks in the body of the Crown Prince. Have you identified this interloper?
Elidibus seems the most likely culprit. As emissary, it is his role to maintain the equilibrium between darkness and light. Your many deeds in Hydaelyn's name have upset the balance, and I believe he seeks to restore it by throwing his considerable power behind the Empire. As a leader of the Ascians, he is one of our primary targets.
Yeah, so in doing the work that we have been chosen for, we are screwing things up, basically, which is why we're getting these warnings from the future, I'm guessing, of upsetting the balance, calamity, because we are swinging everything too far towards the light. And the Shadowbringers trailer kind of confirms that if we keep on doing what we're doing, going through all of these different phases, that we're going to wreck stuff.
It was on the trail of this very prey that the boy and I came across the scene of a failed uprising. In the absence of a single Garlean casualty,
This also
we
happened last
inspected
patch
the
as well.
bodies of the rebels, and the lack of any external injury drew my immediate attention.
Was it Black Rose, was it?
They
Or
had
something.
been slain by
Yes.
Black Rose, an alchemical invention of the Imperial Army. When I yet served as legatus, I ordered its production halted and all stockpiles destroyed. Toxic gas is not a tool of conquest, but of extermination.
Indeed.
Toxic gas? This must be the new weapon Maxima warned us about. Something deadly enough to sweep away all resistance in a matter of hours. Gods. You don't think they're planning to use this in Ala Mhigo, do you?
Ooh, that wouldn't be good.
Put your fears to rest. We infiltrated the production facility and destroyed all existing stores of the
Good.
chemical along with the plant itself.
Good.
Even should they rebuild the operation, they will not soon manufacture another batch. Regardless, I would draw your attention to a directive we discovered in the plant's records. The document was marked with a recent date and authorized with the signature of one Zeno Galvus.
Uh-oh. What's he done?
A dead man signing the death warrant for thousands. 'Tis bad comedy.
Indeed.
But the tale does not end there. Within that same facility was a chamber filled with devices of elegant design.
Oh god.
Cloning technology, we realized.
Now what?
And what should we find in each and every incubator? But a young Emperor Solus. All of which prompts the question, were the Ascians responsible for these abominations, or was it the will of the Emperor?
So Solus as an Ascian has got clones of himself so that he can inhabit his own body whenever he wants.
I must know which hand guides the Empire. Though I have given up my rank, I am yet a son of Garlemald, and I will fight for the future of my homeland.
But not if it's been wrecked by the Scions.
It is time I return to the hunting of shadows. We should focus on our common foe. To reopen old quarrels now would serve no purpose.
You're not wrong, guys.
You saved my brother's life, so I'm willing to let sleeping dogs lie. But in truth, it's not my decision to make.
To be honest, all the people who would make that decision are dead, apart from maybe Hien, who could say something here. There are more important matters at hand.
There was a time when I scorned those who placed their faith in false gods, even as I, in my blinkered conviction, place mine in Ascian promises. Unlike yours, my strength of will and my restraint was found wanting. We shall meet again, warrior of light.
Good. I'm quite liking this new turn of character for Gaius. Yeah, we spent so long working against him in the 2.0 storyline.
So that was the infamous Black Wolf.
Yeah, unexpected.
An unexpected ally, to say the least.
That is certainly the truth. I legitimately thought he had died, and I suppose that was what everybody was to believe. I don't think there were any hints that he had survived up until this point.
Well, I am content to leave the fine-tuning of the barrier to cleverer minds. Let us bid our friends from the Ironworks farewell, and see what can be done for Alphino back in Dorma.
There's nothing that we can do. I think we've basically ascertained this already. Yeah, it looks like the words of Gaius have got us to thinking. Shiny. Alphino is safely ensconced in a private chamber. My finest healer is examining him as we speak. I've spoken with the physician, and there are no outward signs of illness. Alphino is lost in a sleep from which he cannot be awoken, just like the others. It seems that even the lands of the Empire were not far enough away to escape that cursed voice. I share your frustration, Eorzea, I do, but Alphino is returned to us alive and otherwise unharmed. All that remains is to find the means to wake him. Till then, you can but fulfill your duties as a scion, yours and your brother's both. You're right, of course. There are arrangements to be made and little time to make them. To business then, my lord. Now that we know Syria's wall works as intended, can we expect reinforcements for Ala Mhigo? You most certainly can. As promised, we will send troops to bolster our allies in Eorzea without delay. Pray be aware, however, that they will not arrive without delay. Save for some few who boast teleportation magics, the bulk of our force must be transported by sea, a lengthy voyage for which the smaller vessels favoured by the Confederacy are ill-equipped. Accordingly, I mean to enlist the assistance of these Aldenard Trading Company in finding suitable ships. As for navigating the distances in question, we are in the happy position of being able to call upon those who plotted the course for my people's exodus to Eorzea. Beyond the procurement of ships, I think it unlikely that our East Aldenard friends will consent to any involvement in military operations, but I am certain they will afford Alphino a berth aboard one of their vessels. I shall have a chirurgeon accompany him every inch of the way, every ilm of the way to the Rising Stone. Sometimes I automatically translate it. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. Yugiri, I will go on ahead with our friends to Ala Mhigo, enlist all those capable of teleportation and put them at the disposal of the Eorzean Alliance as soon as possible. They will form the vanguard. Yes, my lord. This is exactly what we'd hoped for. At least the Alliance leaders would be glad indeed to welcome the combined strength of the East. Not. Meanwhile, at the Black Rose chemical plant. Uh-oh. Emperor. Current
Our
Emperor.
supplies of Black Rose have been ruined, but the new plant is already under construction. We should have the first batch ready in time for the offensive, Your Radiance.
Uh-oh. Something about his face is really weird.
See that you do.
I think it's because how high his cheekbones are and how low his jowls are. That stretch there is really weird, kind of texture-wise. You could see it in the cutscene at the end of 4.4 when he was slightly more three-quarter profile. Just doesn't quite work. Right, Varys. And who are these guys with him? Oh. Here's Solus.
Yes, the infamous Black Rose. If I recall correctly, Gaius did not much care for the invention. A ruthless and indiscriminate weapon indeed, this airborne poison. It seems you are capable of making decisions worthy of your bloodline.
With no gift for sorcery, we Garleans must look to Magitech to even the odds. If it spares the needless deaths of our soldiers and serves the cause of this empire, there is no method I would not employ.
How very noble of you.
Not entirely sure noble is the word I would use, but whatever.
Truly, though, I must commend you for embracing your role as Emperor. You play the part of the determined ruler well. Sometimes even I catch myself believing.
Huh.
A silent agent of death. Now that I think on it, Black Rose may well possess the perfect aspect. Slowly but surely, the deluge of light has worked upon the ether here in the source, and the gas should be most susceptible to its influence.
Huh?
Well, I shall leave you to your own devices. Go forth and bloody the land with your grand and glorious war.
Swagger!
While you do what, precisely?
Need you ask? I will be doing what all Ascians do.
Being a pain in the ass.
I am well aware that your kind exists only to usher in the next calamity. But you seem oblivious to the harm your singular agenda causes to the Empire.
Ooh, Varys is developing a spine.
You cannot have forgotten the events which followed your mortal demise. Our homeland was plunged into civil war for your failure to name a successor. The edifice you so carefully constructed was but a hair's breadth from collapse.
So is Solus not actually an Ascian, but an Ascian is wearing his skin, just like Elidibus is wearing Xenos's? It's not, because otherwise he wouldn't be have a mortal death, because the Ascians aren't mortal.
Are you truly so naive? You thought me oblivious to the consequences of a departure so painstakingly timed?
It was by design?
Well, of course it was. Though I will admit the resulting panic exceeded even my wildest expectations. But how can you be surprised? Throwing the world into disarray was the very purpose for which this nation was, as you say, so carefully constructed. Now, if you have no further questions, I must be on my way.
So the Empire and the conquests and all of the things that it does are designed, carefully constructed to further the Ascian's goals.
Since we may not meet again in this lifetime, it would be remiss of me not to offer a word or two of gratitude. I really must thank you for this surplus of vessels. I can mold any host into my own image, but having bodies tailor-made for me in this fashion is so much less tiresome. You dabbled in Allagan cloning techniques, yes? It certainly is a compelling, not to mention entertaining, field of research. And of all the options available, you chose the Founding Father on whom to experiment. You have a twisted streak to you, Varus, like grandsire, like grandson, hey? If events play out as planned, this will become something of a family enterprise. You will be the capstone of this world, I the anchor in the shard, and together we will give the lie to this star's fraudulent existence.
Fraudulent in the sense that because Hydaelyn and Zodiac have been separated, they're not real, true. Big and interesting revelations about the Empire. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff.
Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up and consider subscribing. Remember to ring the bell to be notified when new videos go live. And until next time, Toodle pip.